Right to it, Hayes. Kevin Goswin pitch, game one.
ALDS.
Day to day still, trying to do more every single day, coming right down to the wire. So we'll see how today goes and make that decision tomorrow.
And just to follow up on Bichette, what else is on the to-do list in order to activate him?
Running for one, see how that feels, and probably hit some velocity, whether that's in the cage or off some live pitchers that we do have here from our AAA group.
On your left, Schneider, towards the back, Keegan.
John, with guys, like a lot of the numbers are self-explanatory, but what else about him makes him your ideal game one guy?
I think just his steadiness, kind of. He's the same guy every single day. You don't worry about him getting caught up in the noise and the stuff that goes with a game one. How he's performed for sure, definitely how he's performed, really in his entire time here, but I think definitely down the stretch in the second half. Veteran pitcher going against a veteran lineup and knowing how to make some adjustments too.
I know we've talked about Aaron Judge a lot this season, probably more the next few days, but does anything change regular season to this? Anything get cranked up or turned down, how you approach someone like him?
Not really, I know I've gotten plenty of, boos in New York and even some boos here if you walk them, but I get it as a fan of the game, but I don't think so. Yeah, I think you look at kind of their lineup as a whole, you look at certain spots where he's coming up, you're definitely aware of where he is at all times, and respect the hell out of the season that he had. So I don't think anything really changes with the way we'll go about him or anyone else.
John, do you have a protocol as to when you'll pitch to Judge and when you'll put him on? Because I think you walked him 16 times in 13 games or something like that.
It's every situation's a little bit different, Steve. It's again. He's really good. It's not a foregone conclusion that it's going to be a home run or anything like that. I think you just trust guys in certain spots, and I think if there's a way to limit the times he does swing and potentially impact the ball, that's a benefit for us. But there's no set of rules to say when and when not to.
And one row ahead, Shy.
Hey, John, do you have anything set for game two and beyond that in your rotation?
Still working through it right now. Getting pretty close though, but don't have that ready to announce just yet.
You obviously saw the Yankees a lot this year, but how were they different when you saw them in September post-deadline versus the version that you saw pre-deadline and the moves that they had made?
I think having some pitchers come up, Schlittler getting Hill back and, improved bullpen, obviously, from even when we saw him here in the summertime. I think that they've made an effort to, shore up some defensive spots, I think, adding McMahon and they're playing I think a little bit different type of game right now. It's just watching that series against Boston, finding some different ways to score, utilizing some speed. It's relatively the same roster, but I think they're going about it a little bit differently, and that happens as the season winds down and as you get into the postseason. You still got to be very aware of the power potential with a lot of these guys, but I think that they've made some good additions at the deadline and played really well down the stretch.
Seat in the right corner, John.
John, the Jays obviously are further now in the postseason. They have been in a long time without playing a game. What is success for you in the postseason?
Winning, I think for us, especially this year, it's playing our game. It's understanding how we play and how we use guys and what we're asking of guys. It's nice to win the division, it really is, and it's nice to set yourself up the way you want to. But once you get in it, man, success is about winning and just playing our game. That's the only way you can kind of think about it at this point.
And to your left, John, in the back, TV.
John, what are you hoping to see from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. when the game begins tomorrow?
I want Vlad to, play free. I think there's so many things that go into him when he is really good, and talking about from an offensive standpoint, you know, I think he's used these past couple days to get pretty damn close to where he needs to be from a swing standpoint. But I want him to play free. I don't want him to put pressure on himself because he is the face of this team. You know, I want him to play how he plays every day. You know, I think if he does that, he's going to find himself in some big moments and really needs to kind of just lock into what the task is in that moment. So I know we go to his offense, we go to the home runs. You know, I need him to play good defense. I need him to run the base as well. But I think there's going to be some spots where he's up there, and I think that he's anxious to do something big and just realize that Vladdy needs to be Vladdy, and that'll take care of everything else.
Saturday's forecast is sunny and spectacular. Have you been told whether or not the roof will be open or closed?
Have not been told 100%. I know that that's up to the league. Seems like a pretty good day for it to be open, just in terms of temperature and things like that. So I think they make that call tomorrow morning, but it seems like a pretty good chance for it to be open.
The third row at your far right, John.
Hey, John, since Kevin's been here, he's made it clear many times that he came here to be on a winner, on a team that and be a big part of that. We'll ask him later, but what do you think this opportunity means to him?
I'm sure a lot. As you get older and you get further along in your career, you don't take these opportunities for granted. I know that Kev has spoken openly about that. So, an opportunity to set the tone in the series and go out and perform. I think that he's really going to be up for it. You know what I mean? I think that for as even keeled as he is, I think you'll see a little bit more motion out of Kev. I think down the stretch he kind of took that on within our staff. Where he kind of wanted to be the guy, and tomorrow's a perfect example for him to just set the tone at home against a really good team that knows him, a team that he knows. So I think he's going to be really excited for it.
Third row in the left center aisle, John.
John, despite winning the season series and despite winning the division, you still come into this series as the underdogs. Why do you think that is, and is there any benefit to that?
Bigger market in New York, right? They're a good team. I think that they have a lot of big name players. They got a lot of hype around them. And probably were favored to win the division when this season started. So, you can't ignore their talent. And as far as being an underdog, I don't think these guys care one way or another, to be honest with you. I think that we can beat any team on any given night or day. We got to go out and play our game. So it's you understand why, they're projected to be pretty good because they got a lot of talent. But the underdog thing, I don't think we're playing into it that much.
Same spot right across the aisle.
John, when you look at your the two cracks at the playoffs you've had before, what kind of lessons or things did you learn from those that you'll take into managing this series?
There's been some good and some bad, some more well documented than others from you guys. Thank you. I think that what you learn from it is playoffs is a different animal. There's definitely things that happen in the postseason that don't happen in the regular season. So I think just trying to be aware of those, communicating those before the series starts with everybody, and that's it, really. You still have to trust what you're seeing. You can't go into it. You can go into it with plans and contingency plans, and you never know what's going to happen on any given night, so you got to kind of react in real time as well. So I think that going through good times and bad only makes you better. If you're not learning from things that have happened in the past, you're not getting any better. So you still have to trust your guys. You still have to watch the game. You still have to see what everyone's doing in real time. But I think what I've learned from it is it's baseball. You make the best decision in real time, based on what you're seeing, and no matter how it works out, you're good with it.
What is the difference to you between managing like a best 2 out of 3 and a best 3 out of 5?
Yeah, different, obviously. It's not. I don't want to say it's not all hands on deck. It is, but it's 2 out of 3 is tough. Game 1, I think, is always important. To kind of get off on the right foot. But it's just trying to win a 5-game series instead of a 3-game series, you know? So are there going to be times where you hold back? Like, no, absolutely not, you know? So it's just really comes down to, you know, winning 3 as opposed to winning 2. You can line things up a little bit differently pitching wise. You can get a little bit creative. You know, that's kind of what we're working through now. And but the goal is to win the series.
Do 2 last ones, third row on your left, John.
Hey, John, obviously the Blue Jays the only Canadian team in the league, fan base here in Toronto and across the country. How much does the idea of being that lone Canadian team resonate with you and in the clubhouse?
It does every day, you know, with this group. You know, it's an unbelievable honor to play for a country. And I think this team, more than any other team I've been around, has kind of leaned into that a little bit, and they understand kind of how many people are watching them every night, and the support that we get in this building is unbelievable. It makes it really tough to come in and play here, and we really like playing here. So it's cool to say, you know, that you're playing for a country. You know, it's East Coast to West Coast. Everyone's pulling for this team. You know, it's something that we don't take for granted for sure.
We'll finish up with Shai in the fourth row on your right.
John, just back to Bo. What's enough for him for you guys to have him on the roster? If he can give you 1 at-bat a game, is that enough? Do you need him in the lineup as a DH? What's the threshold for inclusion for him?
I would say, I mean, for him to be on, he'd have to play pretty regularly, you know. Just with the way we deploy our guys, we don't want to deviate too much from what we've been doing. So it's not, you know, saving him for a Kirk Gibson at bat once a game that may not come, you know. So he'd have to be pretty regular in some capacity.
And where are you guys at with the position players, pitcher split? Are you thinking 13-13, 14-12?
I'm going to finish that up right now after I'm done with you guys. It will be one of those two, whether it's 13-13 or 14-12. But we're having some pretty good discussions. Yeah, it'll be 14-12 or 13-13.
All right, Shai was on the right track.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, John. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.